Ellen Langer was born March 25, 1947, in Bronx, New York. She began her academic career with an undergrad from NYU in psychology. She got her PhD in social and clinical psychology from Yale and went on to be a professor at Harvard University, where she became the first female professor to get tenure in the psychology department. She has spent her academic career researching mindfulness and its effects on our lives and has published several books and authored over 200 articles. She defines mindfulness as a flexible state of mind in which we are actively engaged in the present, noticing new things and sensitive to context. She posits that most of us operate in a state of mindlessness by allowing the past to passively dictate the future instead of being fully engaged in the present by noticing the novelties around us and how things are rarely as static and certain as we initially perceive them to be. One example that she gives is the simple equation of 1 plus 1 and how it doesn't always equal 2. One pile of laundry plus another pile of laundry doesn't equal 2, but still one giant pile of laundry. The same with gum. 1 wad of gum plus another wad of gum is still just 1 wad of gum. One of her more prominent studies, documented in her book Counterclockwise, talks about just how significant this change in mindset can be. In the 1970s, she took 2 groups of 80-year-old men on a week-long retreat to study just how significant a mindful mindset can be on our health. Both groups of men lived the week surrounded by a recreated version of their youth. One group was instructed to live, think, and talk as though it was the 1950s. The other group spent the week waxing nostalgic. By the end, the group that lived mindfully in the 1950s showed significant decreases in blood pressure, increases in hearing, and even looked younger than the group that didn't. Throughout her career, she has garnered many awards for her work, such as the Guggenheim Fellowship, Award for Distinguished Contributions to Psychology in the Public Interest from the APA, Distinguished Contributions of Basic Science to Applied Psychology from the American Association of Applied and Preventative Psychology, the James McKeenan Cattle Award, and the Gordon Allport Intergroups Relationship Award. As for her influence on education, she proposes that often it is not what we teach, but how we teach it that matters. Posing statements in such a way that acknowledges uncertainty allows for more engagement for our students with the material. When talking about this, she often uses the example of the difference between the two statements, horses are herbivores, and most of the time, horses are herbivores. The first statement allows one to stay in a state of mindlessness and take the statement for fact. The other encourages engagement with the material and prompts the student to question the world around them by asking questions and making distinctions. The use of mindfulness in the classroom also helps teach our students compassion for one another by encouraging them to think of each other's feelings and actions in context and from the perspective of the other person, instead of falling easily into the mindless action of making a simple judgment. She firmly believes in the power of mind over matter, that if we believe we can succeed, we will, and our students will as well. If we can use her theory of mindfulness and mindful learning to help our students be happier, healthier, and more engaged, what more as educators could we ask